What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Locks DFS MLB breakdown. My name is Adrienne Narang. I'm from locksdfs.com, and I will be breaking down this 9-game main slate on DraftKings and FanDuel for Thursday, June 13th. A couple of things before I get into that. First off, if y'all want to go ahead and leave a like and comment on this video, not only would it mean a lot to me and Christian as far as gaining traction on these videos, but you will be entered in winning a free season pass of your choice. As you guys know, we run the same giveaway every single week where we post a video Monday through Friday, and then on Monday morning, we go through all our videos, we go through the comments, we see who are leaving likes and positive comments, and then we pick a winner for a free season pass of their choice every Monday. So stay tuned for the Monday video to see if you won, and just to enter that giveaway, go ahead, leave a like, go ahead, leave a comment. Secondly, if you do want to get yourself a pass, locksdfs.com is the place to do so. We have month passes, seasonal passes to one sport or multiple sports, whatever you so choose, you can do over there. It's been awesome to start this season. I mean, we're almost like halfway through the season. It's been great. Definitely think we can make you a better player with our articles. We post early looks, top stacks, and a lock sheet that comes with player grades ranked from A through D grade. As well as other sort of factors. The early look takes care of, umpire factors, ballpark factors, weather factors, all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely a good product, and would love to have you guys on board if you are interested. So go ahead and check it out at locksdfs.com if you want to. And then with all that being said, let's just jump into this video. So as you guys know, I like to start off these videos by just going through my favorite high price point per dollar starting pitcher. So I'll do the same for this, and then we kind of cover one low price guy as well. As far as the high price guys go, it's pretty close for me, honestly. Usually I have one guy that I'm sort of really leaning towards, but I think for today you could pick between a couple guys. The first guy is going to be Jacob Degrom versus the St. Louis Cardinals. Degrom, just a dominant starting pitcher who's a lot more dominant against right-handed bats, has been for the past year and a half sample size. But if we just look to this year, he's got a 2.66 xFIP versus righties with a 4.31 xFIP versus lefties, increased K per 9 versus righties as well. Hard contact fairly similar to both handedness, ground ball rate fairly similar to both handedness. It's really that strikeout upside and just a better job at controlling his xFIP versus right-handed bats. That's important to note in this matchup versus the Cardinals because of the fact that this Cardinals team leans so heavily right-handed. At most, you're going to see 3 left-handed bats in this lineup with Wong, Fowler, and Carpenter, which is what is projected. But even with that, you're getting 6 right-handed bats, including 1 pitcher spot. So it's a great spot for Jacob Degrom to utilize his strengths versus right-handed bats. So definitely interested in him. We've seen the Cardinals team total open up fairly low, 3.5, and since has dropped to 3.2. The total on this game has dropped, which is good because our low price guy comes from this game as well. So definitely worth noting. And I'll talk about that in a few minutes. And the next guy worth talking about is David Price. He's sitting at 9.7K on DraftKings. And he has some impressive numbers this year. 3.46 xFIP versus righties, 2.19 versus lefties, slightly lower K per 9 versus lefties, but has yet to allow a home run versus a left-handed bat. At home, he's got a 1.99 FIP and an xFIP just above 3 at 3.01, striking out over 10 batters per 9, not walking that many guys. Versus left-handed bats, his batted ball profile is even better. He's got a 26% hard hit rate with a 65% ground ball rate. That's elite, and it's just as good. I mean, sorry, it's elite versus left-handed bats, and then it's equally or almost as good versus right-handed bats with a 34% hard hit rate. Obviously, more of a fly ball lean. Tough to generate ground balls at such an amazing rate versus guys that have the platoon split on you in right-handed bats. So this is to be expected, but the low hard contact rate is definitely of note. And this left-handed batted ball splits and left-handed K per 9 splits are all super important to note in this matchup versus the Rangers because the Rangers are sort of like the inverse of the Cardinals in the sense that we see them lean heavily left-handed. Most of the time you'll see, 4 or 5 left-handed bats versus a left-handed pitcher, which versus David Price is almost an automatic out, as we've seen by his batted ball profile. So depending on both these starting pitchers, for me, it's going to be fairly lineup dependent. Right now, as far as ownership, I'm seeing Jacob Degrom come in at the highest ownership, and David Price is going to come in after He's going to go Degrom, Flaherty, and then David Price. I anticipate that sort of leveling out as we get closer to lock, but it certainly depends on which or how these lineups come out. A lot of left-handed bats in the Rangers lineup, obviously a big plus to Price. A lot of right-handed bats in the Cardinals lineup, obviously a big plus to Degrom. So now that we're done talking about those high-price guys, the low-price guy that I think is going to be probably the most popular starting pitcher just to pair with one of those guys is going to be Jack Flaherty. Dominant numbers on right-handed bats, 2.98 xFIP. Not as good versus lefties with a 5.04 xFIP. He relies on his slider, which is elite. It's his best pitch by far, and that pitch versus right-handed bats is lethal, but versus left-handed bats doesn't play as well. Has to rely a little bit more on his fastball, which isn't as good of a pitch. Batted ball profile, it's okay. I mean, versus right-handed bats, 33% hard contact, which is great. Decent ground balls, which is great. Versus lefties, giving up a bit too much hard contact and a bit too many fly balls. That is good news as far as this updated Mets lineup is, because without Cano, without Nimmo, they do lean fairly right-handed. Their only left-handed bats are going to be McNeil, Conforto, and Dom Smith, who are all great bats, have been having great seasons, but you're still going to get probably 7 right-handed bats, including a pitcher spot. So if he can navigate those 3 lefties, he's definitely on his way to putting up an amazing score, since he does have a sub-3 xFIP versus right-handed pitching, or right-handed bats. If we look at weather, I use Kevin Ross weather on RotoGrinder. Hat tip to him. I mean, I think he does weather the best. There's a guy on Twitter, Mark Packett, as well, DFS MLB weather. It's another great follow. I just really follow those 2 guys as far as weather goes, and then just check the radar on my own if it's a little bit, like on the border of playable or not. But both these games have good pitching weather, wind blowing in, and fairly cold in the northeast. So that is also of note when targeting pitchers. So that should do it for pitching. I think that was pretty extensive enough. And then let's talk about hitting a little bit. So I know I did just mention that there is pretty good pitching weather in this Boston game, but Adrienne Sampson is pitching for the Texas Rangers, which means we have to look towards the opposing team. In this case, that is the Boston Red Sox. Adrienne Sampson, bad versus both-handedness, but especially bad versus right-handed bats. Fairly reverse splits. He's got a 5.21 xFIP versus righties, only a 4.46 versus lefties. His home run per 9 is almost 5 times greater versus right-handed bats at 1.88. He's worse on the road as well with a 6.45 xFIP, which is where he will be pitching. And you can tell all these numbers are fairly accurate based on the batted ball profile that it comes with. 45% hard hit rate to right-handed bats, 45% to lefties. Fly ball lean to both-handedness above or around 40%, above 40% combined. And then on the road, his fly ball tendencies tend to increase at 47%. Hard hit rate increases at 54%. So just a real bad spot for him. And we have guys like Mookie Betts and JD Martinez, who once again are sub 5K, which is of note because they probably shouldn't be sub 5K. Andrew Benintendi at 4.5 had a big game yesterday. He's also in play. So I like looking to Boston as a full stack or individual one-offs. I think you can make a play for both of them. And I'll be looking more so towards the top of the order for my stack. And then another spot I think you can look towards, there is a Coors Field game on this slate. We have Matt Strom versus John Gray. In what right now has 11.5 team total. I believe that is... Yeah, it opened up at 12, 39% of bets on the over, and has dropped half a run. Not great, but it's still by far the highest over-under on the slate. And it's got some of the best hitting weather on the slate as well, with it being fairly warm in Denver right now and with the winds blowing out gently. So good hitting weather. And I'm going to be looking at this Rocky side of the game. I think both sides are certainly targetable. John Gray, a pitcher, talking about the Padres side real quick. John Gray is a pitcher who is prone to imploding. He's been great this year, and he's especially dominant on right-handed bats. So it's one of those weird situations where you could almost target John Gray, like play him, because of his strikeout upside versus the Padres lineup. Or you can look towards a Padres stack because of John Gray's implosion downside. So I think it's an interesting spot. But I think a more clear-cut spot is Matt Strom versus the Rockies. Matt Strom, just a guy that's giving up way too much hard contact on the year. As you can see, very average xFIPs at 5 and 4.32, giving up home runs at a decent clip. Obviously more versus right-handed bats since he's a left-handed pitcher. But this hard contact is really what we're looking towards. 47% hard contact versus righties, 47.5% versus lefties. He's not getting an incredible amount of ground balls to counteract that. He's still giving up fly balls at a fairly high clip. So I'm going to be looking to a lot of these right-handed Rocky bats. I think you can mix in some lefties as well, like Blackman. Doesn't really matter what platoon split he has. David Dahl, sort of the same. They're just elite hitters. Interesting to see if Nolan Arenado's in this lineup. He got hit by a pitch yesterday and had to come out of the game. I think it's just a bruise, but they might just give him the day off. So if he does get the day off, it definitely hurts this Rockies lineup a little bit, but I'm sure someone else would get a good spot, maybe Brendan Rodgers and Ian Desmond, both worth looking towards, as well as Trevor Story. So definitely a spot that I think you can target on this slate. And yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and do some home run calls and get out of here. So high price home run call, a guy above 4K and a guy below 4K. The guy above 4K that I'm going to go with is Mookie Betts. He actually hasn't been this good versus left-handed pitching this year, and even last year he was better versus righties. He's a fairly reverse splits hitter. Obviously, a guy like Mookie Betts, guys like JD Martinez, even though they might hit better versus one-handedness, when you're that good of a hitter, you're sort of just a good hitter, period. So that's sort of how you want to view that. But at least for right now, Mookie has been dominant versus right-handed pitching this year. And he's getting a reverse splits right-handed pitcher, giving up way too much hard contact. So I'm going to be looking to Mookie Betts as my high-price home run call of the day. And then for my low-price guy, let's scroll down and see if... Nope. Okay, so for my low price home run call of the day, it's actually a guy I didn't really talk too much about him or this team, but the Dodgers versus John Lester opened at a 4-4 team total, have since risen to 4-6. Definitely some upside here to be had. I'm anticipating Kike Hernandez batting a little bit higher, but if he's batting 6th, I probably won't roll with him. I'll go with Chris Taylor as my low price home run call of the day. Increased power versus lefties. 3.2K, I think just point blank, period. He sort of just fits well into your lineup if you're looking to pay up with pitching and get some Coors bats in here. You might have to go cheap at a couple spots. So I'll go with Chris Taylor as my low price home run call of the day. So that being said, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, a like and a comment means a lot and would be definitely appreciated. And you would be entered into winning a free season pass of your choice as well. So that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Christian will be on this video tomorrow, and I will see y'all on Monday. Peace.